At
Yeah,
least you're now, yeah.
At least I looked.
Well, that was a great show.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna go and edit. Oh, right.
Oh,
Shoe
cool.
time.
Well, about to eat that shoe, ladies and gentlemen, but not this week. You ain't getting me now. I caught it. Rezo ain't eating a shoe in this motherfucker. Hand that shit to Pete. He probably needs it more than I do anyways. I ain't eating that shit.
Have you, excuse me, Rezo. Have you seen me? I'm fat. I don't need any more food.
Eat that boot, motherfucker. Spray. What do you put some butter on it or something? I don't know. Fucking.
Wait, that's what Americans do. That's your jurisdiction.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Oh, he deep fry it.
Egg? Put some egg on it?
Yeah, I'll just put a fried egg on it. That's fine.
Yeah, there you go. Some egg. It's all good. So I'm gonna tell you all the truth about what I've been up to this week, because it has not been a productive week. I mean, I've been productive, but not in the way you might think.
But not productive.
Yeah, not.
Time to settle it.
Yeah, not productive in a way I'm proud of. So I sometimes find my small obsessions that I find myself getting into, and I found my new obsession, and I don't know how I feel about it. I found the 40K universe.
Oof. Good luck.
And I have delved deep into that lore, and here I am, a broken and battered man.
Are you not painting everything red?
No, I haven't bought miniatures. No, I haven't gotten that. No, we're not going.
No, I mean generally to make them faster.
Bro, that part of the orc fucking lore drives me nuts. That's just a thing they do. If enough orcs believe something, that shit just happens. That's just what it is. If enough orcs believe that this hunk of junk with wheels on it will go faster if it's painted red, guess what, motherfucker? It's going faster when it's painted red.
That sounds like a lot of the street racing community in my area.
It is the most absurd thing I've ever. That was a 40-minute dissertation on the orc lore, and I listened to that entire thing, and 10 minutes of it was devoted to just how ridiculous of a concept the orcs are. Oh, they put together these massive scrap heap mechs that shouldn't work. These things shouldn't be able to do anything, but because the orcs believe it so, guess what, motherfucker? We're playing Mech Warrior now. Here we go. Strap in. And then I made the mistake of like looking into like the community and shit for 40K. That was a fucking mistake. Turns out there are actually stupid people who think there are good guys in the 40K universe. Not really sure where they got that idea from. Not really sure where you all got that idea from. Oh, the Imperium of Man, they're the good guys. No. What? The religious zealots, they're the good guys, the ones who literally blow up planets out of pettiness. Yeah. Okay. Keep telling yourself that, buddy.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, people that play them are suddenly turning into Nazis because they're playing them? What?
I wouldn't call them Nazis.
No, not the Imperium themselves, but there are people that complain about people playing Warhammer and playing the side of the Imperium.
Oh.
And for whatever reason, they associate those people to the right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but this is the same community on the same bunch of people on the internet that call people Nazis for saying bad words.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I don't. The more I read up on that nonsense, I'm like, wait, y'all really looked at the Imperium and said, yeah, they're the good guys. What? Okay. Cool.
Sweet. Thanks for that.
Yeah. keep on keeping on, my dudes. You really.
Yeah, on totally unrelated note, did you know Chairman Mao was, misunderstood?
Happens to the best of us, man. Happens to the best of us.
No, I am not going to say that famous Australian did nothing wrong. Nope, I'm not going to.
Happens to the best of us. We all make mistakes sometimes, man. We all make mistakes.
Yep.
So yeah, that happened. That's been a week of diving into lore. I don't regret it, but I think
Not entirely.
I think I could have spent my time better. I don't know what I would have been doing instead, but I feel like I could have spent my time better. Don't ask me what else I could have been doing, because I have no idea. I don't have hopes or dreams or aspirations. I just do things. So, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, like it or not. That has been my week, realizing the 40K universe is somehow more absurd than the SCP universe that I had also delved into. And that's a tough pill for me to swallow, because the SCP universe was already ridiculous for me. It was already a brain-bending mess. So when I get into the 40K universe and realize that, like, orcs, not like any particular aspect of the orcs, but just the orcs in general are a thing, I'm like, oh, cool. There's like space marines and orcs and giant bug monsters that devour entire planets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyranids. Yeah, that is some next level.
Yeah, Zerg, I mean Tyranids.
Yeah, Zerg. Yeah. Yeah. Which one? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Now that you bring it up, they have some shocking similarities. You really can't get rid of them without destroying the planet that they're on. They're really not. You can't stop you can't stop an infestation of either of them without blowing up a planet.
And then you get reminded that the first iteration of StarCraft was pretty much just Warcraft in space.
I don't need to know that. Didn't need to know that. Don't really need to know that. All right, Pete. What keeps you busy these days? What has your attention?
Unfortunately, being an adult and trying to buy a house is unfortunately distracting me quite a lot at the moment. But outside of that, if I'm talking generally, I would say PC gaming is now keeping me interested, which is very weird for me. So I upgraded my PC not too long ago and decided that I was going to actually pick up a modern game to play on it to test it out. So I've been playing Resident Evil 4 Remake on it, and oh boy, it runs like a dream.
So I've been saving Mauschli.
I'm not even joking. It runs fantastically on PC. I'm surprised that Capcom actually could put together a good port on PC, because I thought they didn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, PC ports have been.
Mm-hmm.
I think Capcom has been pretty decent in that regard.
I'm sure.
The last time I tried to read up about them doing a PC port, it didn't go too well, I don't think. I think they've still got problems with Street Fighter Cross Tekken games for Windows.
I mean, Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
I mean, that's a bad game anyway, to some degree.
And how old is that? And how long has that not been supported?
This shows how long it's been since I've been interested in trying anything PC related. Showing my age now.
So what do you think?
I mean, they've done Monster Hunter World, Rise, Street Fighter 5. So I think those have been pretty good. Those
What do
ports
you-
have been
so-
the
Yeah, Street
ports.
Fighter 5 wasn't too bad actually. I think from what I've played of Street Fighter 6 at a
Mhm.
recent event, that was running on PC and ran particularly well as well. So
Yeah.
So
Is-
what
this
and
was
in,
essentially just a benchmark test to make sure Street Fighter 6 will work perfectly decently on my PC.
And in a few days, the demo for that will be available on PC as well.
Yes, I've avoided downloading it for PS5 already, just so I could wait.
Oh, if Pete's picking up, I'm gonna have to break out my stick because someone's getting clapped on PC. That's about to happen.
Got my stick ready and waiting right there. Look, you'll probably beat me for sure because I suck.
Wait, whoa. All right, listen. Believe it or not, I haven't been playing a lot of fighting games lately. I've actually stepped back a bit. All right, the last fighting game I've put any time into was Strive, and that was pretty much after launch.
Okay.
And I
Well,
haven't touched it since Biken came out.
Wow, that's quite
That's
a
been
while
a while.
ago then.
Yeah, I'm about to say I tried Biking out, and then I got really upset she was so different from her Exard Rev 2 version because she's lacking a lot of the tools that I kind of thought she would have. And now she has this really stupid mechanic where she can like tie someone to her. It's like this weird thing where like she throws
It's
a
essentially a hook shot that she
Yeah.
uses to.
they're bound to her. They're literally like
Yeah.
bound to her. I
So-
hate it. I fucking hate it.
So essentially, Guile's handcuff from Street Fighter, the
Yeah.
movie, the game,
Yeah,
just not
it's-
broken.
And like they made her parry now is like only one frame.
Oof, that's harsh.
Yeah, it's one frame. You get one. Like her original parry in Exard and like Rev 2 was way more than one frame. You get one frame, motherfucker. That is it. You get like a couple of frames at best with the animation, and that is it. If you fuck that up, well, guess what, motherfucker? I hope you're not playing against a character with a touch of death combo, because you might just be dead.
So basically, like playing Street Fighter 4 then, where
Depending
every
on
combo is essentially a
yeah,
one-frame link.
yeah, most combos were just, am I dead yet? Oh yeah, I'm dead. Yeah, I'm gone. So what do you think of?
Oh yeah, so sure you FADC? Yeah, cool. Thanks for that.
So what do you think about RE4 so far?
RE4 rules. It's so good. I was really worried about it actually going into it because I'm a massive fan of the OG game. I bought and played it on launch day, completed it like within the day, and just did a second run almost immediately of it. It was like, so I was particularly worried that they were going to get rid of a lot of the gloriousness that was the OG game. Like some of the dialogue is obviously gone, which is quite unfortunate, but I get what they were doing in terms of the tone with the writing in this one. They're trying to make it a little bit more I know this is going to sound stupid, a bit more believable. But,
considering what kind of footage I've seen of it,
yeah, I know. Like dialogue-wise, I think they're trying to actually make Leon a character rather than like
dialogue-wise, okay.
Yeah,
Building up the characters more, I can see that.
No, that's more of what I meant. The action-wise is completely nonsensical at times. It's just ridiculous, but
there they've even added to the absurdity.
Yeah, so the only thing I would say about this, and this probably be the only criticism that I will have of RE4 Remake, is I think they may have made it a little bit too long than it needed to be.
They've even cut out things from
They have cut out
original.
things, but there are sections what they've included, like a Luis section, which is great. It probably overstays its welcome a slight bit. Like the vast majority of people I've seen playing this have probably done their first runs in about 15 to 18 hours. And the original game, I think, was about 12 to 13. So they've added a little bit extra. And I don't think all of it is great. Ada sucks. Ada sucks so bad. Like the character model is fantastic. Like, it's such a good character model. But the minute she opens her mouth, oh boy.
Ooh.
Yeah, we talked about that in one of the last shows, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I won't delve any more into that then. 'Cause,
Uh-huh.
yeah, you've all seen and heard
Yeah.
it.
Uh-huh. But
I
at least going by how long to beat, the original from 2005 and the 2023 is pretty much the same length.
Okay. Well, I must have done it
So they've
somewhat quicker than that then.
Mhm. They've essentially probably just cut out just about as much as if they've added,
Hmm.
with it totaling 15 and a half hours on average, according to that.
Yeah, that's fair.
At least if you stick to the main story. If you go with sides, it's 19 and a half.
Yeah, I think that's probably where some of the extra bit is with the merchants the merchants'
Completionist,
objectives.
completionist is another thing.
Mm.
That is significantly longer in the remake.
Yeah,
That's,
I'm not
according to this,
surprised.
48 hours. Back then it was 31.
48 hours.
Jeez.
God.
I guess that's multiple runs to unlock everything.
Yeah.
Very likely, yes.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. I don't know how it's that probably counts all the achievements and all that, and some of those might be extensive.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
guessing.
I do think some of the achievements are reliant on on multiple playthroughs, because it would probably require you to do a new game plus run on it.
I guess it depends on what you're getting out of it.
Mm.
Because for me, I'm not a fan of like getting toys only after I've beaten the game once. I don't really like that. To me, doesn't always. I'm not saying I should just get the cool stuff by just playing the game, but I'm not always very incentivized for me to like go back and like replay a game just to get a cool toy that I kind of feel like I should have just been able to interact with. And
I'm not even sure it's about I'm not even sure it's about additional toys that you would get.
This is also like the same argument I've always had about like collectibles and like hidden shit in games, where I'm like there's certain levels of hidden that I'm like, okay, that's fair. Like, you know, it's obscured, but like a player could figure this out, right? You know, like that kind of thing. And then there's some shit where I'm like, how would you ever figure this out? Why would you ever make that assumption? How would you know to talk to this bookcase 47 fucking times, leave the building twice, and then talk to a random NPC who only spawns at night?
Also, leave the building twice without entering it again.
Yeah, you gotta
figure that one out.
figure that one out. It's part of the directions, all right?
I think I figured it out. It's called a guide.
Yeah. But see, because I get comments now where it's like, if I complain about like a secret or collectible, they're like, oh, Reza doesn't understand what it means to be hidden in a video game. I'm like, shut up. I know exactly what it means for an item to be hidden, motherfucker. That's not the problem here. It being hidden is fine.
When it's obscured.
When you make when you make the process of me getting this thing that I want either entirely ridiculous, or the process of getting it is so unclear that even me trying to explain it to someone, there are still like 45 fucking question marks attached to it.
Yeah. So now RE4 Remake does this reasonably well, actually. There's some collectibles in there called the Salazar trophies, and they're dotted basically throughout the campaign. Now, some of them are in quite obscure places, but there's always a tell from them, because as you get closer, they start to, like, the gears are cranking so you can actually hear them.
That's neat.
So it works. You know there's a collectible around that area, so it gives you the idea to sort of go and have a look around. So I think that system works well. Plus with the some of the merchants' tasks, especially with the blue emblems, like as soon as you take that task, they show up on your map anyway, so you get a general idea of where they are.
Thank God.
Yeah, it just might require a little bit of backtracking. That's about it.
And the thing, like, backtracking doesn't even, like, bother me. Like, I could deal with, because, like, that's a thing now in, like, RE4, the new RE4, right? Now there's, like, actual, like, you can go backwards to, like, old areas. It's not.
Yeah, only until a certain point. I think there's bits in the castle and then bit in the village. So there's a bit in the village, like towards the end of that section, where the merchant will specifically tell you to take care of anything that you have to do because you won't be coming back. So I think that's sort of the game telling you, yeah, make sure you've covered it all. Because there's a cutscene that happens that essentially locks you off of that section for the rest of the game. And I think it's the same again in the castle when you go up to, I can't remember the final section. But yeah. So
it's good that the game tells you that in game, essentially, and not just via a pop-up box or something like that. That's good.
Yeah, luckily enough, because I had a merchant task that I still had to do that was around the village. So I got to that section, and he went and said that, and I was like, oh yeah, I've got the biggest like merchant task to do that gets me the most amount of reward. I better go and do that. Just so happened to be the most difficult, of course.
Obviously.
You know, there is something I would like to see, like, reviewers cover. I know they're not going to, but I think it would be interesting if, like, reviewers actually, like, when they review, like, the PC version of the game, I want them to actually, like, review the PC controls, like, the keyboard mouse controls, and just be like, they're alright. It makes sense. Because, like, so much of, like, PC gaming these days has been relegated to using a controller. I don't think people realize just how much, like, aside from, like, first-person shooters, right? Like, those are first-person shooters, some top-down shit that, like, actually requires a mouse. A lot of the big AAA games, like, that people want to play.
AAA games.
You're playing
specifically.
You're playing them with the controller. You're busting out your Xbox controller and playing it with the controller.
Yeah,
which is
with AAA games, you can pretty much just go by the default of these controls aren't gonna be good on keyboard and mouse.
So from what I've seen about it from people, some streams that I had watched of it, the PC controls for RE4 Remake weren't too bad. I haven't tested them myself because, I'm not a traditional PC player.
Well, a lot of it has always just been like nonsensical binding of certain things to certain keys that don't make any reasonable sense to have a binding like on that, like. When you think about where your hand placement is on a keyboard, you know, traditionally speaking, it's W.
Yeah, it's the WASD.
It's WASD. Yeah. So any buttons you have to have the player press need to be within a reasonable proximity to WASD. Elsewise, you're having someone reach across the keyboard to fucking L. Yeah. You all looked down, saw L, and went, "Oh shit, that sucks."
I looked at that and went, oh, look, my small hands won't reach across the keyboard. I'm taking the L on that
one. Everybody listening to this, if they're at a computer, look down at their keyboard for us a second and went, L? That's such a random... Oh!
I got caught in 4K here.
Ooh. Like, I have, like, decent-sized hands, and, like, I would have to take I'd have to take every finger off my keys except for W and press L with my thumb. I have to pivot my hand pretty fucking hard to hit L. There's a reason why you should only cordon off about half, like less than half the keyboard for your button mappings. And for God's sakes, don't have things mapped to the same button that might actually coincide with each other, because fuck you, that's ridiculous.
I mean, I can manage to reach L without directly letting go of W, A, and D, but it's definitely not a good placement.
Feel myself getting cramped trying to do that.
Yeah, especially if it's something you'd often need, that's no go. That's why many use like F or E or left shift, control, stuff like that.
I believe
or V and C.
Yeah, I believe parry is set to F on PC on the remake, so
that's
pretty
that's
reasonable.
fine.
This is
Yeah,
also the
that's a
reason
fine
why when I
placement.
play 14, I really only know my hotkeys upwards, like so your number bar up top. I only really know the skills that are mapped up to like number 6. Cause I can like just touch and make and with some assurance without looking, I can hit the right buttons up to 6. Once I go past 6, bro, I'm guessing. That is, I am. You better hope I'm not playing a healer, and you better not be low health, because if I'm guessing, sir, there's a 50. No, I take that back. It ain't 50-50. There's a 2 and 3. There's a 2 and 3 chance you just die. All right.
Oh,
The
hey, he
odds-
has 10 health left. Let's see what I do. Click. Charisma boost.
Ooh. All right.
He's
See,
dying, but he's dying fabulously.
CD, you're up.
All right. Well, for me, I've been continuing Path of Exile along the week to finally complete the main campaign, pretty much. So I'm now in the epilogue, where all the endgame stuff begins. But I'm probably not gonna do too much with that, and if I'm gonna continue something there, I'm gonna make a new character that's more of a tanky build, because at this point the boss enemies and such are dealing so much damage they can pretty much one-hit me no matter what.
Ooh.
Or at least very close to. The boss in the first endgame map, so to speak, was pretty much just letting small meteors rain, and the fire that's left there pretty much beats the health down in, at most 2 seconds. So if I don't notice quick enough and activate the heal potion, or don't have any heal flask left, that's a problem. And it's not even it wasn't a really big area, so the maneuvering gets a bit difficult.
Oof.
But the last few acts in the game were pretty decent. I actually had a decent mix of challenge with the bosses there. Some of them I didn't have to do the usual grinding them down with going in, doing some damage, dead, going back in, doing some damage, dead, and so on. So that actually worked out decently at that point, which, I guess I got lucky with a few of the items that I found, but definitely not a good loot build yet. I need some more specific items for that one. And besides that, I've just been looking at some idle games and looking at their designs and all, because I'm just experimenting a bit with Godot, the free and open source engine.
Nice.
Just have a look at crafting some little things there.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Fantastic. Now it's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of this episode is special, everybody. Unlike a typical episode where we talk about stories, this is the part where I get to ask the people on the show, that include you, Pete, a series of questions that may or may not be interesting or slightly unhinged.
Wait, let's go.
They may also be semi-insightful, so don't necessarily expect the unhinged all the time. It was late, I was hopped up on caffeine, and I was listening to 40K lore. So I think you might really want to temper your expectations here for what you might be getting.
Okay.
Are the questions painted red?
Good old go faster stripe on them.
It's not my fault. That's how it works, all right? I'm not the one that created that shit. Oh, goodness. All right. So I have 9, but I am free to segue into tangents if one of you says something remotely interesting that makes me want to further ask you both questions.
Good. I see you've listened to Rapid Reviews Radio, where I tend to do that a lot.
Oh, buddy, listen. All right, my show did it long before you guys did. Don't.
Oh, I know it did. I never thought saying that we took the format of going on tangential sides.
Sometimes a tangent is the best part of the show. All right, fellas, my good friends. Your first question is, without lying, give the most optimistic take you can on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
The most optimistic one.
The most,
okay,
without lie. You cannot lie. And if you lie,
Fine. I've got one. It's being developed by Rocksteady. They've actually got a good track record when it comes to developing games.
All right, you know what? I believe you, Pete. I really do. I think that doesn't feel like you're bullshitting me, and I actually do kind of believe that one. CD, without lying, you have to give an optimistic take.
No, you said the most optimistic.
Oh,
that
doesn't
mean it's optimistic.
Give the most optimistic take you possibly can.
Also, the fact you're saying to CD without lying clearly shows you don't know CD.
Like, the without lying part was mostly for you, Pete, if I'm 100% honest. You were the one I felt like would lie.
Yeah, that's just
the most optimistic take I could think of would be it won't completely crash and burn because it's Rocksteady.
Oof.
And I wouldn't count that as really optimistic.
Oof. Jesus. Fuck. All right.
I mean, spot the lie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. I can't find it there. All right. Fellas, your next question. Name a gaming trend that you like, but you also need to name a gaming trend you wish would go the way of Kotaku.
CD, you go first on this one.
A gaming trend.
A current one, or
You know what? I will let you. You can name a gaming trend. I'll even help you by giving you guys an example of a gaming trend I wish would go the way of Kotaku.
Okay.
I would really appreciate if every fucking one of these games would stop trying to be an RPG without being an RPG.
Ooh, that's a good one, actually.
That's my take. I wish more of these fucking games would stop trying to be RPGs without actually committing and just being an RPG. If you can't come up with both, you got to give me one. You got to give me one of them. You're either going the way of Kotaku. I feel like I should have said the Dodo, but Kotaku, I can't really.
Okay, I have a clarifying question then. Does it have to be centered solely on games or the games industry?
Ooh, you know what, Pete? Hit me. What do you got?
Well, just gaming trends that I wish would go away. Shock journalism, trying for outrage clicks.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, that's a mild take, but yeah, okay, yeah. I'll let you keep that. That's yours. Well,
which is also appropriate given the way of Kotaku.
That's what I was hoping for.
I wanted to put down go the way of the gamer, but I don't really want to. I didn't want to give them that
There,
kind of
honestly, there it would fit even better.
Look, I don't care. I'll say it. Fuck the gamer. They're shit.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Let's see,
yeah.
a gaming trend I would want to go away.
I'll think of a good one for want to stick around.
I think one that should go away would be trying to cram in open world into any game,
Yeah.
no matter how well it fits.
Trying to put more game into a game where it doesn't need to be there. And sometimes the open world
kind
isn't
of that,
even
kind of
sometimes
that,
the
but
open world isn't even more game. It's just empty.
yeah,
It's just
yeah.
just
Most of the time it is that way. Even if it doesn't fit, it's just more open space, nothing to do there, and it's just there to have it as a buzzword in the feature checklist.
All right.
It doesn't help the game at all. If
All
it's a linear game, make the game that way. Don't make it an open world. Just make it segments, whatever. But
Yeah.
just make it what fits.
All right. You know, that's fair. I like it.
Hmm.
I dig it. All right, fellas. This might be a tough one. Games are going up by $10. Will we even buy less games though? Will it even matter?
Well, based on the fact that Zelda Tears of the Kingdom went up to $70, I still bought it, so probably. I've got it on pre-order. I have bought less games this year, probably so far, but to say that I'm not gonna buy games because they've gone up, it's on a case-by-case basis for me. If I really want to play the game, I will probably pay the extra money for it, or find a way to make it cheaper. CD keys. Gotta love a bit of CD keys.
Gray market, baby. Gray market.
Yeah. I'd say on average, it's gonna be a mix. On average, I think there's gonna be less full price games sold, more CD keys on key sellers that are cheaper, and more on sales. So the amount of games overall will probably be similar. It'll just be a bit of a mix-up.
So you think it's just gonna balance out in the long run? It's all just gonna kind of shake out pretty much. Pretty much.
Overall, I'd say so.
Because I'd like to then ask, like, this is gonna sound silly coming from me of all people, but how much is $10 really? Like, no, like, hear me out. Like, $10. Like we've all we have always made the argument that like games should cost less. Like, that's always sort of been like development costs have. Marketing's gone up, but development costs haven't really gone up.
Yeah, development cost has gone up. But what has also gone up is the target market in terms of amount of players. That has gone up significantly compared to the past. It's pretty much been, sure, AAA games. Costs have risen, especially during the first next-gen switch to Full HD, and then later on with 4K somewhat as well. Obviously, each graphical upgrade means more effort needed, more time needed. So development costs rise. But on the other hand, the amount of players has also risen significantly over the years. So that's always been there to counteract the rise of development costs. And what has also risen in the years is how much stuff has been done via DLC, which costs a significantly less amount of money to develop because you have all the basics. You have the engine, you have much of the graphics, you have the basic the music, the sound effects, and all. You have a lot of that already there. So you only have to do smaller packages, but you sell them at a significant upmark, essentially, compared to what you have the base game, you have the DLC, but the price difference is significantly smaller.
And that's not also taking into account microtransactions and all that
Mm-hmm.
they want to add on nowadays too.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
profits have gone through the roof more than they have done in
Mhm.
previous generations.
Yeah. And the most extreme example with a DLC is stuff like cosmetics, like costumes and all.
Yep.
For
Yeah.
let's take one of the most extreme examples, Dead or Alive 6
Or 5.
or 5, yeah.
Or Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter 5 or basically any
Yeah.
fighting game at this point.
Fighting games are the most where that's done, but I think the last or is Dead or Alive, is 6 the latest or is 5 the latest? I'm not sure.
6 is the latest.
Yeah,
but 5 was
but
particularly
5
bad
already
for...
did that, yeah.
Yeah, it was over $1,000 worth of DLC,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
And that was largely costumes. Few characters as well, but an extreme amount of costumes. And that's definitely not something that requires that much money to develop in comparison to the buying price.
No.
Or stuff like skins in Fortnite, where you pay $20 for a character, and that's just the skin and stuff like that. Sure, there might be some more effort in there, but $20?
Or exclusive upgrade tickets for RE4 Remake, which was...
That was such a
God, what
scummy...
the hell
that was a
that?
scum as fuck thing. Like, that was so dumb.
It was disgraceful.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
like, bro, this is a single player game. What the fuck are you even selling these for?
That is a literal pay to win. If that was in an online
No,
game, people would be kicking off more.
It's more a pay to save time in that regard.
Alright, Ubisoft.
Pay to save time.
Yeah, it is. It is a similar. It is a similar concept. Yeah, but the thing is, that's mainly, I think, in the Western versions for Capcom, because they saw, okay, people buy these DLCs, so let's put them in.
Yeah. That's
so
true.
let me ask you guys this then, right? Assuming like we see a time when like all games are now 70, right? Not just certain games. All games are 70.
So all AAA games, or I mean,
all indie
I'm
games
guessing
as
those.
well.
Because with
not
indie games and all,
indie, not indie. We're not going to include indie. We'll say, I don't know, AA, AAA.
Okay, I was going to say, imagine trying to charge $70 for Undertale. Great game, but Jesus Christ, it's not worth $70.
You know, I feel like Toby Fox could probably pull it off. I don't know how he'd do it. I feel like he might try. I feel like he'd do it for the bit.
If you'd put both AAA and AA into the same category of $70 games, yeah, that definitely would not sit well with people.
No.
That would absolutely not sit well with them.
All right, so let's try to get this to a good medium then. All the like $70 becomes the norm for AAA. Fine, AAA games, that's the norm. Every AAA game that comes out.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty close to that now. With next gen titles.
Where are we counting fucking... Is NIS AAA then? Are those... No, that's not AAA?
NIS isn't AAA. They're by far not that big.
Oh.
Their development budgets are much lower. They are AA.
But don't they charge AAA prices?
I don't think they... I don't
sure
think they charge 70.
Pretty sure I've paid 60 for almost every single... The only game they... how much did they charge for Disgaea 6 on PC?
They charge regular full price, let's say. But AAA has gone up to 70.
Okay.
All right. So AAA games go to $70.
Yeah.
All right. Across the board. So would you then, assuming you're on board with paying $70 for the game, would you start looking more skeptically or just being a little more hesitant to spend even more money towards like DLC? Example, Pete, I know you play games like Destiny, or you used to play games like Destiny.
I did.
And Destiny does have a habit of putting out full-priced expansions, right?
Yeah, fuck off. 40 quid season passes, they can get fucked.
So if you were paying $70 for like Destiny 3, right? Or fuck it, let's say Destiny 3, right? And then, I don't know, a year to like a year and a half, they put out their first their big expansion, and that motherfucker is like $50.
Yeah, it'd make me think about that one a lot more than it would.
Yeah.
Like it goes beyond the realms of an impulse purchase. Then, like, it's one that you actually have to strongly consider whether or not you're going to put your money down on that, especially when, you know, life gets in the way and fucking everything is rising in cost at the moment. You know, can I really afford to spend 50 quid or $50 on a DLC?
Yeah,
essentially.
that's the thing I was thinking of before when you said it's just $10 more. If it would be only games, that would be more costly currently. Yeah. Sure, but
I was keeping
nowadays,
it solely to a realm of
everything is
games,
going
but
up.
you, given the context of the time that we live, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
fair enough. But yeah, so what you're saying is, Pete, is that if you were already locked in at like $70 for like the base game, and then Bungie was like, hey, our big content expansion is coming out, and it's like $50. It's like,
unfortunately, well, I'm afraid to say in this situation, Bungo can go and suck my dick. I ain't getting my money.
So at that point, things like that would be you'd have to really deeply consider whether or not you wanted to spend the kind of money on it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. It's on a, like I said, case by case basis. Depends on the DLC. Depends on the level in which the game that I'm enjoying, how much I've played of it, and whether I feel like they warrant that kind of purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's reasonable. That's fair. I can't argue with that. I will say though, at $70, I know this is something I've been thinking about myself. Like if I'm putting out like $70 per game, your content DLC that you're gonna put out inevitably
would have to be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm paying $70 for the base game, either the base game has to be fucking fantastic for me to even consider it. For me to even consider it, or B, you're putting out a piece of content that's fucking fantastic. It better fucking blow. It'd have to be like Blood and Wine from Witcher 3. Like Blood and Wine,
that kind of quality.
Blood and Wine from Witcher 3 was its own game. It wasn't like calling that an expansion, calling that DLC does it no justice. That was
considering the price they sold that at, that was a great deal.
Yeah, like you were basically just getting a whole new game, a whole new map. Like you got
obviously not as big as the base game, but it was a really big expansion.
It was a considerable amount of stuff that you were being handed. So at $70, because we all know, like, if the base game's gonna go up, the DLC prices ain't gonna come down. Like, it's not like they're gonna start charging us magically less for DLC. No, shit's gonna be just as expensive. Yeah. So
I'd say with Witcher 3 specifically, if the base game would go up $10 and the DLC would go up $10, that would still be a good price. With things like Destiny, as you said, those expansions are already at a significantly higher price.
All right,
so that would be a big problem.
Let me ask you a more pointed question for you then, CD. I'll use an example of a game I know you like. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay.
Because I know you like the game. So let's use that as the context for you then. Base game is 70. The expansion content comes out and it's like 40. from your experience with, like, we'll just use like the original game as like the basis for this, because I don't know how much you've experienced of the sequel and all that.
Quite a bit.
Yeah,
Quite a
okay.
bit of it.
So we'll
But
use, because that was a game you were
That
pretty
game?
positive about. So I feel like that's
yeah,
a pretty
definitely.
good like.
But with an expansion for 40 when the base game is 70? Hmm. Hmm. With that game, I might have gone for it. But
You'd have to. It would be
it's
some consideration, right? It wouldn't be.
a bit of consideration. I would probably look closer into it, and it's also contextual. The more often I'd have a positive experience, that would mean I would lean more likely into that direction. If I have a negative experience, I would be more careful in the future. So overall, that's not a flat
All right, so it's
state there, because I'm with prices. I am already not always going for the full price. It very much depends on the game.
Yeah, fair enough. Because I know
Because I have quite a few games in my Steam wish list, and I am watching them.
Yeah,
Just waiting for that summer sale to kick in.
Yeah,
Partially that, yes.
Summer
Yeah,
sale.
but I'm doing the same at the moment now. I'm PC playing, so
Summer sale, Christmas sale, spring sale. It doesn't matter. I'm always
end of the month sale, end of the week sale. You know.
Yeah, sometimes they have flash deals or special weekly sales or something where they have the price significantly reduced. So yeah.
So next question: as we get older, supposedly our gaming habits change. How have your habits changed? Now, I can tell you a habit of mine, and I don't know if this is really a habit or just things I look for in games that has changed. But I'll give you an example for me. When I was younger, like high school, junior high, if you asked me what I cared about in like an RPG, I told you story. If you asked me now what I care about in an RPG, I'd be like systems, mechanics, fucking can I grind? You know, are there things for me to do? Like, yeah, I like the story, but can I become a god? You know, that's what matters, which I feel like is a really weird inverse as I get older, because like the general consensus, you get older, you have less time for that shit. But like I get older, and I find myself like, bro, I got like an hour of spare time. What can I grind in something real quick? Can I like power grind or some shit? So what habits for you guys have changed as you've gotten older, for better or for worse? or are you guys also in that camp of I just have less fucking time for this shit?
I'd say as a symptom of having less time, I've become a lot more selective about what I play these days, because I have to sort of guarantee to myself that I know I'm gonna like something. Whereas if I'm spending $70 or £60 on something and an hour in I'm hating it, I'm like, well, that was a waste of my time, my money, and my my wish to want this to be good. It's like it may not be a shit game. It's just, to me, it's not enjoyable. So I think having things like Game Pass available does kind of help with that, where you can obviously just download something as part of a subscription. But yeah, I always tend to sort of veer more towards genres I know I'm going to enjoy, like platformers and fighting games, and that's about it. It's very hard for me to break that mold these days.
All right. Good. I know the next question I'm going to ask them, because there's actually a question about genre on the list. So, yeah, thank you for that. Really helped me out with that one.
Let's see. Over time, comparing from the beginning, I think things have changed quite a bit over time, because at the beginning it was more like, yeah, okay, you had much less of a much less access. So I was more looking towards anything I had and playing that deeply and playing it a lot, no matter what genre or what kind of game it was. And even the not so great ones I played back then. Then, as time progressed, I focused more on specific genres. And nowadays, I still focus on some genres, but I do try to spread out a bit and also um, look at some of the past titles that I've maybe missed or didn't play as much. So
Oh.
it's been quite a, let's say, an evolution over time.
Yeah, see, I feel like the odd one out here because the only thing that changed for me is
The systems.
yeah, no, it's the system. For me, it's the systems. It's been the systems.
Mhm.
Like me coming back to YouTube and creating content made that very abundantly clear to me that I care
Mhm.
more about the systems than the story. I don't sometimes I don't care what is happening in the story. I just want to
Mhm.
engage with the multiple cogs and machines in this piece of software so I can become a god. How I get there, be damned. I want to
Yeah.
become a god.
I don't want to eat the bread. I want to know how it's made.
Yeah. And I feel like sometimes I have to really ask myself, like, if all I really want is just the mechanics but not the
Mhm.
story, I feel like that's a weird disconnect for me to have, because what that does is I enjoy a lot of games, or I enjoy a
Mhm.
lot of things where the story could be like mediocre to like almost kind of bad, but like the systems are, they fucking hit that
Mhm.
fucking monkey part of my fucking brain and I just can't stop. Final Fantasy 15 is like the worst example, man. That game hit that part, that addiction part of my brain for like 2 straight months. And I was like on a completion fucking rampage. I became a god within like 20 hours. Like, I had no reason to do it, but
Mhm.
I wanted to see the numbers go up. And then by the time I was finished, the numbers had went up. So there,
And I
there you.
think I think a contributing factor to that is back then, if you go back enough, you probably didn't really understand the systems as much, or you didn't even think about them.
No.
You into the games in a completely different way.
Yeah.
And
No.
then over time, you play more, you experience more, you understand the systems, which makes the focus shift.
Yeah. Now the first thing I do in the first few hours is, okay, how does this system work?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
How
that's
can I
how it works.
exploit it?
Yeah. How do I exploit?
Mm-hmm.
How do I engage the capitalist part of my brain and exploit the system to my advantage? The capitalist side of me must exploit something. It's just the way my brain works. I have to. But since you brought up genre, name a genre again of game you would like to play more of, but you don't. Either you don't, or you can't, or you just fucking, every opportunity you have to try it, somebody's hitting you up on Xbox Live to go play something you're comfortable with, and you're just like, you know what, I'll try that some other time.
Okay, I think the one for me would probably have to be MOBAs. They're always something I've been somewhat interested in trying to play, but the fucking barrier to entry is so massive, it's unreal.
Oh, God, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
And I haven't got time for that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Turn-based Cynics. Pete is too old for this shit. Pete is too old for this shit.
Turn-based Grand Cynics.
Yeah. Bunch of fucking
These
old men
moobas
here.
and their damn dinglefangles.
Like if you like, but all right, but like you say that, but you play like, how much would you be like? What is your like that line that you draw? Like the amount of time to dedicate before you're like, okay, this isn't worth trying to get over the wall. Like how long do you see yourself spending with like something like Street Fighter 6 and like maybe becoming, I won't say amazing, but you know, fucking, you feel pretty good that if you get into an online match, you're not gonna absolutely get clapped.
Sorry, you must know nothing about my Street Fighter playing then. I must have clocked at least 200 hours in that first year and I'm still shit.
He's still getting clapped. He's like 300 hours. I'm still getting those. I'm still getting clapped.
Finally, I'll make it out of this bronze league.
Ooh.
It's not that long, I promise. But no, so for something like MOBAs, I would probably say like, if I haven't got it within the first 10 hours, then I think I'm just probably not going to get it.
Okay.
I've ran into that wall for 200 hours now. 2 crumbs have fallen off. I am gonna make it through there at some point.
Hey man, Hey man, there are a lot of people in the FGC that are like, you just gonna have to lose and lose and lose and lose some more, and eventually you'll get good. And it's like, bro, how much time do you think I have to grind? Like, I got time to grind, but like,
I've got 14 hours a day to grind. Not quite that bad. I may have like an hour a week.
CD.
I'd say for me, that genre would probably be RTS. Because I've been back in the days, I've played those quite a bit.
Okay. Yeah.
Starting with Dune 2, Command and Conquer, Warcraft 2, and a few others. And I don't know, over time, for one, obviously, the amount of games in the genre has declined rapidly after that initial boom. But even nowadays, when I look at them and try them and play them again, it's, for one, it's not quite it doesn't feel quite the same, and the other thing is I have a lot more other games to play, so it's kind of the draw is stronger from other directions, but I still find them fun, especially when I play things like StarCraft 2, when I played that to continue the campaign there, especially. Those things I really liked.
I'm gonna tell you guys what genre of game I want to get into, but I just don't.
And I guess first.
You can guess. You're not gonna guess right though, but you can guess.
I would have gone with Twitch shooters.
No, I don't want to. That's just a I'm just not going to. That's just,
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that's just not. That's not even like on the list of potential things that could happen in an alternate universe. All right, I'll tell you. It's, oh God, I don't know if it's really a genre or a type of game. It's like farming simulators. Does that make sense? Like
yeah, that is definitely a genre.
Stardew Valley, those kind of things. Like those kind of games. Like I want to get into those games because those games, they on paper seem like they hit every single fucking piece of my RPG monkey brain. But I can't. I can't bring myself to do it because I care about the little bit of productivity I do have on a day-to-day basis, and if I start, I'll never be productive. The productivity stops. That's it. There's nothing left. I can't do it. And it's like they're not even like bad games. Like what? There was one called Harvestella that came out like not that long, like not too long ago.
Yeah.
And like I played
Yeah.
the demo for that, and I was like, man, this is cool. And I'm like, I am not buying that. I am not buying.
So essentially, simulation RPGs.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's.
Oh, this demo is a 10 out of
Like
10. Well, I'm never playing this.
Story
Yeah.
of Seasons, Harvest Moon. Those would be in that category
they're
as
all
well.
games that like I know I would like because they all scratch that itch for me. But I refuse to let them scratch that itch for a reason that we're going to delve into with the next question. Because it is pertinent to me personally. And that is handheld gaming the future? Or are we silly for carrying this crap around with us? Is handheld gaming the way gaming is going to go? Or
I'd
is this
say it's one of the ways.
one of the ways it'll go?
It's never gonna replace stationary gaming, but it's definitely gonna stick around. The Switch has proven that. And the Steam Deck.
And mobile phone games.
You see,
And that too, yeah.
And that's the problem. That's the fuck. I bring up mobile gaming for a fucking point, for a fucking reason. Because this fucking thing won't let me just put it down, right? So like when a game that has addictive mechanics or some shit that fucking scratches the monkey part of my brain, I'm like, oh, that's on Switch? I'll never have to put that down. And then nothing gets done. And that's my biggest issue. Like, I know where my weaknesses are. All right? It's RPGs, it's skill trees, and it's never-ending filling bars. Yeah, like progress bars. They just never stop. They just... Actually, fuck it. I will just segue into the other question I had on the list. Fuck it. We're already here, ladies and gentlemen. Strap in! It's about to get unhinged!
Oh, shit.
Games with an ending. Or games that keep you coming back.
It's one of those things, isn't it? It's like, dude, it's hard because there are certain games that you really, really, really fucking enjoy playing that keep you coming back. Like, you know, like a live service game or an online only game, stuff like that. But then sometimes you just want to play a single player game, experience a story, and then put it down and never touch it again.
never go back and fuck with
Yeah,
that.
God of War Ragnarok, I'm never going to fucking play that again. I've seen everything I need to see.
So games with an ending, would you count games that have a New Game Plus that have you repeated? Or would that be a game that keeps you coming back?
I don't tend to go back and do New Game Plus runs on games.
I mean Rezo, for his classification.
Oh, okay.
For the sake of the question, because all right, Pete, I need to ask you something, Pete, because this is important because you're gonna add some context to this.
Okay.
Do the credits roll at any time while playing Destiny? Is there a credits roll?
I believe once you complete the full campaign for that expansion, they do.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's after each campaign the base game has a campaign with
Yep.
a credit ending, and each of the DLC
Yeah.
expansions as well.
Yeah.
I'm
So
pretty sure that's
I'm
pretty much
going
the default for
I'm
games like that.
going to put New Game Plus as keep you coming back.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because once you beat the game,
Mm-hmm.
once you beat the game, you saw the credit, the game ends. So
Mm-hmm.
the engagement you have with it after that continues the game in
Uh-huh.
that regard is the carrot on the stick. So
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hmm. It's difficult because nowadays there aren't that many of those games with an ending anymore in comparison, because more and more have at least a new game plus or something post the campaign.
Yeah.
But
I had
Or they have some kind of stinger for a fucking DLC chapter.
mhm, the few that I would count, well, there are still obviously games with an ending, like adventures, point and click adventures, or the Telltale adventures, stuff like that, which those are still great. Uh, but there's really not that much left there. I think if I would look at my list of games and which ones I've played most, I'm pretty sure it's the games that keep me coming back.
there. For me, my problem is that okay, I might play a game again, right? It
Mm-hmm.
might not be like right after, but like I might get the itch and like play like
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy 9 again at some point. I don't know, fucking I'm
Mm-hmm.
bored and I just want to fucking do goofy shit in a video game or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much I would want to engage with the new game plus so much.
Mm-hmm.
Because oftentimes I feel like the carrot on a stick for New Game Plus, at least as far as I've always engaged with it, is you start the game again, but now you're like way stronger. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, that's not a great carrot on the stick because a lot of what I enjoy sometimes is coming up with strategies to beat those earlier bosses and stuff. So if I'm already a god at the start,
Mm-hmm.
it's like Chrono Trigger is an interesting case, right? Because the only reason why you're engaging with New Game Plus is to get the endings. So
Yep.
you're the only reason you're doing it. You're not doing like most people aren't playing through Chrono Trigger start to finish on New Game Plus. That's not a thing. You
Certainly not in rapid succession.
yeah, no,
At least in direct succession. You might do it if you put it down and then come back to it a year later or something like that.
yeah. So for me, I think it's games with an ending
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm.
I don't like because like
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with there not being anything after, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because my assumption is that once the game ends, the game should end. Like that's it. Once I've beaten it, motherfucker, that's it. Unless there's like a sequel or some shit. So I don't usually sign on to the idea of like, oh, you beat the game and now the open world is still free to you. Nah, not really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not really vibing that. That's not really. I got the closure I needed. Thank you. The world's been saved. I can put you down now. There's no
Yeah.
more need for me to play you. I've gotten what I wanted out of this experience.
Mm-hmm. I'll put some more nuance on mine, because it it partially depends on the game. The good games, that I enjoy the story. In some cases, I have no problem putting it down and just not going back to it again, even if there's new game plus or post campaign stuff or post story stuff and the like. But the games that I really like, there I'm very tempted to do more afterwards.
Okay.
Because if they're like, for example, Tales games or Horizon, as the example that you already picked at some point, those have the option to do New Game Plus, but with a higher difficulty.
Yeah.
So that still gives me the challenge and the enjoyment of playing the game again.
Yeah, I'm glad you raised that
Most.
because I was actually going to say the same thing about RE4 Remake. Is that the new Game Plus
Mhm,
option allows you to play it on like professional and hardcore as well?
mhm. And most of the time, I don't directly replay them when I've beaten the game. I might, depending on the game, I may do some post story content and side stuff that I've missed before, depending on the game. But then I usually do a break. And when I go back to the game, I do the New Game Plus with the higher difficulty. So I already have a lot of stuff done, as in levels, equipment, and all, and look for stuff that I've not done in the story in the first go, for
I
example.
think for me though, the problem is I'm looking at this
Mm-hmm.
contextually as someone who plays games the way I play them for like
Mm-hmm.
videos and shit. So like a
Yeah.
lot of my context there is based on that. And when you look at the context there, one, I'm not going back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like once
And
I beat it,
you've
I'm not going
very
back.
thoroughly played through them,
And
usually.
yeah,
Yeah.
usually like by the time I beat the game on
Mm-hmm.
video, I've already put 30, sometimes 40 hours over how long to beat says.
Mm-hmm.
So by
Yep.
that point, like, God, I've gotten my money's worth. I don't really need to go back and redo this unless there's really something I really, 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 really have to go get. Case in
Mm-hmm.
point, I did not do something in my initial Final Fantasy VII playthrough.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to do it. I forgot straight
Mm-hmm.
up.
What was it?
You go third disc, you go into the Shinra Manor where you find Sephiroth on the third disc. And Cloud has a flashback scene of him and Zack and that moment where Zack gets killed. I forgot to do it. Now, that didn't matter so much because before I did 7, I did the Crisis Core for PSP. So the
Oh, I see.
context was already there anyway. So I was like,
Uh-huh.
I don't really think people need to see this scene again. I feel like we
So
all...
that was essentially an optional boss fight.
Yeah, an optional thing you could do
Uh-huh.
in the original 7. But I didn't feel like I needed to do it. Okay. I'm not gonna make it sound like it was a choice. I forgot. I dead ass, full ass forgot. Like it slipped my mind. I was at like 80 hours of actual work put into this fucking playthrough. I was like, I'm done. And then I was like, oh no, I'm not. I'm not fixing it now though. Like I'm not doing that. No, fuck that. I'm done. I'm not gonna go back and fix that. That's ridiculous. So, for me, a lot of it, I think, still kind of just boils down to like, if it's content I'm creating, I'm already gonna put a bunch of time into it. And the problem I have now is if it's not content, that's a really hard thing. Right now, it's really hard for me to start something without me thinking, this could be content. And then I'm like, well, fuck, I don't want to play it now. This could be content. But that's the problem. Everything can be content.
Yeah, essentially.
Everything is content. And then you play nothing. So, there you go. It's the world that we live in. And those are the questions. I think that was actually all of them. I think I only left off like one, but I felt like I had already kind of hit those at some point during all this. So they did not turn out as unhinged as I thought they were until the end. But that's because I'm unhinged. So,
Now you were thinking it was going to be me.
I did. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really thought you were gonna be the problem child here. Turns out you weren't. So,
funnily enough, like people have this idea they are quite reasonable.
like you didn't go through 2 bottles of wine in the hour and 20 minutes.
Kylie's a special case, all right.
Kylie, if you see this, nothing but love for you, girl. Nothing but love for you. You know that.
Of course, yeah.
Nothing but love. But
Don't you mean she has a special case?
But you need
with wine bottles?
You need to chill with the cough medicine, because I don't witness you empty a bottle during the show we did with you guys. That shit's ridiculous.
Look, I'm not actively encouraging this damaging kind of behavior, but I am the one kind of sitting over her, pouring it into her as she's passed out like an agent would do for a Hollywood star. It's like, right, we've got a show.
Like, I'm not encouraging it, but I'm certainly not stopping it. So,
well, there is a reason why I call her the talent, you know.
the talent. That is a talent. Yeah,
exactly. There you go.
Pete is like Two-Face. One half is the talent manager, the other half is the Joker eating popcorn.
Yeah, I believe it.
Both halves are more like that. I want to watch the world burn, but I don't want to watch it burn.
I want to watch the world burn, but I don't want to be here when it burns.
Yeah, you don't flip coins, you just flip a grenade.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes with the pin in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sometimes. It's like
it's just random.
Sometimes 60% of the time.
Sometimes I play Russian roulette, but I have no control over the gun, so I'm just like, well, oof. Really?
I play Russian roulette with a bazooka.
With a bazooka. What's your survival? What's the survival rate on that one?
0.000000001%.
Yeah, about to say, I don't think the survival rate's very high, is it?
Just ask Leon. He has an infinite launcher.
Oh, yeah. Survival rate does not go very far with that.
Let's see. What do I have here for the Russian roulette? Oh, a fat man. Okay.
Oh my god. Anyways, everybody, I hope you've all enjoyed this lovely show. As always, it's always been a pleasure to have you on, Pete.
Thank you for having me back.
The unhinged Joker to my Batman. You know, it's always nice to have you here. Maybe not that. You're less Joker and more Stilt Man, maybe.
How dare you slander me like that? No, we don't like
I could have said Captain Boomerang, but
Okay, all right. I'll give you that one. I'll let you.
I could have said Captain Boomerang.
Well, but we all know that I am the Joker to your Batman because you need me as much as I need you.
Maybe some days.
I live for this shit, you know.
I know you. I know you do. As always, everybody, you can find us on a variety of platforms such as Amazon, Google, and Spotify. Shit, I always forget that. I always forget that last one every fucking time, guys. Every fucking time. I do this shit every week, and I always hesitate on that last one. And you can also find our video podcast on our YouTube channel, Turn-Based Cynics, every single Sunday, along with the audio-only versions every single Sunday, unless I have to eat a piece of footwear with some bacon wrapped on. Maybe wrap some bacon around it. Really do it the American way, you know? Just slather it in bacon.
Bacon and cheese.
Deep fried shoe with bacon.
Bacon?
I mean, it won't taste any worse than a Burger King burger, to be fair.
I don't know, man. Y'all can slander Burger King all you like, but a Whopper ain't that bad. Y'all be putting...
Sorry, wait until you come over to the UK and try Burger King over here. You won't be saying the same thing.
Yeah, well, yeah. You know, I might actually agree with you on that one.
Yeah, they claim it to be flame grilled. They're fucking microwaved. It's bullshit.
Ooh.
Yeah. Exactly my point.
Ooh. Pete, I'm sure the audience knows where they can find you. You've been on this show as much as a Jay Leno guest, but for this for the sake of continuity, Pete, where can people find you? Not like they're gonna have trouble finding you anyways.
Yeah, so for the 1% of viewers and listeners that don't actually know, you can find me on Rapid Reviews Radio with my co-host Kylie, the drunken one herself. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, and a various number of places, including YouTube, as well as the Never Watchers podcast, where I cover films with my friend Kurt. And we've finally moved away from the Marvel Cinematic Universe and covered a good movie. We currently in the process.
Dungeons and Dragons.
I said good movie, not pile of shit.
What bullshit?
The
No.
new Dungeons and Dragons movie is supposed to be good.
I like the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Fuck you. I'm dying on.
No, I'm sorry.
No.
Fuck off. I'm not giving Wizards of the Coast my fucking money. They can suck out.
Oh no.
That's
You're not.
one thing,
no.
but it might still be a good movie.
It
At
might
least from
be.
all I've heard. From
But
all
it's
I've
got-
heard from people that are
It is-
fans of D&D.
It is a
I've heard good
fun.
things.
It is a fun campaign movie. You're basically just watching a campaign in movie form, and I love it for it.
Fine.
Fuck you.
We're
The
all
movie-
entitled to. They're all entitled to our opinions. That's all I'll say.
Oh, are we? Are we?
Yes,
But I completely understand your boycott of Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay. Your boycott of Wizards of the Coast is valid.
yeah.
that-
Okay, maybe I spoke out of turn and said it was shit because I haven't seen it. But you know, from
Your
everything I heard about it, it sounded shit.
No,
Hmm,
I don't think
interesting.
it was.
I
I
have
don't-
heard some rave reviews about it though.
Hmm.
Look. You
I mean, the
boycotted
Mario
Wiz-
movie has certainly had rave reviews, besides some unplugged Game Boy mentions.
Well, let's not get into that one, shall we? Because I've got many a thought, and this will go long.
In any case, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed this week's show. Turned out to be more hinged than I thought it was going to be.
Hmm.
Maybe I need to cut back on the caffeine. I think that actually might have kept me from being unhinged, which is a little weird, but I'll figure it
Well,
out next
either
time.
less or more caffeine, depends.
Yeah. In any case, everybody, have a fantastic week, and we'll see you all next time.
Yeah.
All right.
Later.
Fantastic work. They got rid of like half races, didn't they, for Wizard of the Coast? Isn't that a thing that they did?
I'm sure they
Mm.
did, yeah.
Yeah, they got rid of those because the concept of half is inherently
Halflings.
racist.
Oh, bullshit. No,
What?
bullshit.
Even
Half,
though
half
interracial,
elves and
like,
half orcs and stuff
oh,
like that.
Fuck off! Like,
Yeah.
like breeding between fucking certain ethnicities has been going on for millennia. What the fuck is
Yeah.
wrong with them?
Like, I saw, well, I mean, these are the same unhinged people who attribute a race in a fictional game to actual
Oh.
people. So
Yes, goblins are Jews and orcs are black. Yeah, brilliant. Well done.
Of course.
I hate bringing that up because every time I do, somebody hits me up with it. Well, actually, Rezo, that's actually not very far from the truth. The orcs were based off of African tribes. Of course, they'd be based off of black people. They're warmongers, and I'm like,
I think that says more about you than anything.
yeah, like.
You're connecting African tribes to warmongers. Yeah.
Like maybe you're the problem. Maybe you're the I might be the problem, but maybe you're the problem. Maybe we're both the problem.
Yeah, because
but-
even Tolkien didn't base them on corrupted elves. So,
yeah, like. And like there was also this thread about like racial traits being racist. So like every race
Mhm.
having a particular trait was inherently racist. And I'm like,
yeah.
What, you mean like white people being colonizers?
black people dominate in most sports.
I mean, I could have said one. It would have sounded terrible coming from me. But,
Yeah, I know. I saved you the
yeah, that's why I opted
hassle.
for my option.
Yeah, you took the safe one. I'm actually pretty proud of you for that, because I was like, oh, is he gonna go there? Is Pete gonna do it?
I debated about it. I was like, how will this make me look in terms of optics?
Like I was about to strap in Pete. I was like, ooh, is he gonna do this right now?
Do I play the card?
Do I play the card? He says as he reaches into his pocket, pulls out the card, and just quietly puts it on the table. Yes, I do.
Yeah, well, you know that the Yu-Gi-Oh gif where he pulls out the card and then it's just the
yeah.
That's what I was imagining it to be.
Because like, I don't know, man.
I mean, I'm pretty sure people have been making the comparison of the NBA and racism.
I'm sure.
Because what else is it but a bunch of rich white dudes owning black people?
Ooh. Yeah, I hadn't really, like... You know, I don't really feel comfortable saying anything, because I got chewed out for my tokenism joke. And I don't even think that was a joke. That was an observation. That was just a comedic observation I made, and people got upset with me for that. So, you're saying tokenism is good? No, that was you took the wrong. You missed the whole purpose of what I was trying to say. There was a.
You're not even on the same continent as the point.
There was a really good joke there. And not only did you miss it, you missed it. Fucking.
I'm afraid to say you aren't a clowny, but you are the whole circus.
So like, I don't blame people for like, Wizards of the Coast. Do they also do Magic the Gathering? Is that also them?
Yeah.
Or is that someone
I think
else?
so. Yes.
Yeah, they do.
I'm happy I don't participate in that.
I mean, if it wasn't video game related, I would have said that as a thing I don't ever want to get into.
Yes.
How much time and resources do I really have to get into Magic? How about none?
Yeah, it's a money sink.
And even if you had, would you want to? No.
See,
it was bad enough with the Pokemon TCG back in the day. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they lost their license for a very good reason.
I found out. I told some of my other friends, like, I had been like really into 40K lore, right? Just like the lore of it, and they're like, "Oh no, Rezo, stop!" I'm like, "What? What? It's
Stop!
Cool.
Run! Save yourself!"
They're like, Rezo, don't. I'm like, what? Y'all didn't stop me from enjoying SCP content, so why are you stopping me on this one? They're like, because there's shit you can buy with this one. Don't do it.
Well, they have a point there.
They do.
It sounds like they're looking out for your best interest.
That would be essentially the same as if you would have said, I want to get started in the Gundam universe.
Oof.
I considered at one point getting into building Gunpla, and I will tell you what stopped me was a mixture of things. It was one, the ones I really wanted to build, like the ones I was super duper passionate about, like the ones I really liked, were expensive. And like the cost to entry, because I'm not gonna buy ones I don't like. Like, I'm not going to buy cheaper ones. I want to build the cool ones, the ones I actually have an attachment to. And when I get to those, we're talking like $150 or so per kit.
Yeah, they can get pretty
$100,
costly.
$150.
Yeah.
And that's not including anything I need to get started. So at that point, I'm like,
yeah. The possibility to go in cheap is there, but yeah, There's also the very costly things.
I mean,
Yeah, so
he says with a various range of consoles behind him, like the barrier of entry wasn't too expensive to get into there.
I mean,
Yeah, but there's only so many systems.
That's true.
The
Yeah,
amount
there's
of
quite a lot of
gunpla
Gundam. Yeah,
is
I know. Yeah,
I don't.
a little bit
It,
more.
it's like the cost of the thing is like I could
Mhm.
deal with the reasonable cost of entry,
Mm-hmm.
but because I don't want to get into it and not be into it, like, you know what I mean? I've always been really big about like I don't want to waste my time doing something if I'm just going to be like, oh, this isn't worth the effort. Oh, yeah,
Nice.
see?
A few figures, although
Just a few.
I don't
those
want to
aren't Gundams. Those are Transformers.
I don't want to like get into it and start with like some shitty ones I don't give a shit about. So I instantly
Mhm.
looked at
Yeah.
the ones I give a shit about, and the entry on those is pretty high. So at that point,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I really want to spend that kind of money. My friends are
Yeah.
mostly concerned I'm going to want to buy miniatures for fucking Warhammer and start painting miniatures.
Mhm.
But I'm not gonna lie to you, it has only crossed my mind because an army of orcs in hot rod red and pink sounds like my jam.
I mean, bearing in mind that most people might consider that to be somewhat a bit questionable. I mean, building an army of orcs, you know.
Questionable? Questionable. I have it. It's an army of orcs. There's a lot of things they do that are questionable.
I mean, that's true. You know, considering that certain people in the world consider them, as we said, to be a certain race.
That's
I think
fine.
it might sound like you're trying to build an ethno state.
You know what? Maybe I am.
And I've clearly got no place in it.
Because like one of my buddies was like, "Oh, he's like, cool. You like 40K?" He goes, "Imperium, right?" I'm like, "No, Imperium, my balls. Get fucked, buddy." He's like, "What? No, not Imperium?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "But Space Marines." I'm like, "No." He's
What
like,
is Space Marines? I go play fucking Alien.
I'm like, Space Marines? Why would I want those? He goes, okay, fine. What would interest you then? I'm like, I don't know. The fucking assholes who go around looking for a fight. Dude, every story that involves the Imperium where orcs get involved, the orcs are nothing more than just giant trolls. they either troll the humans or they just do the most ridiculous things for no other reason than the fact of like, we want to fight.
Oh, it sounds like Twitter.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we want to fight. I love it, dude. 40K lore is fucking fantastic, and anything involving the orcs is exactly why I want to get into 40K. I mean, it might be questionable in the color armor they're wearing, but fuck it, they're orcs. They don't give a shit.
That's the good thing about Warhammer, I guess, is you can paint them however you like.
Yeah, they think that pink makes them stronger. And guess what? That's not technically not usable in lore, because as long as enough orcs believe it, guess what, motherfucker? It's true.
Whilst you lot are teasing us for our colour scheme, we're gonna ruin you.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's not canon. What's not canon? As long as the orcs believe it, it's true. How do you think they have space travel? Because they all believe this giant hunk of fucking metal can fly. And as long as they all believe it, it can fly. You know what the greatest part about the orcs is? Like, they have all these, like, scrap together pieces of junk that are guns and swords and stuff. But if you kill them, nobody else can use that shit.
Well, yeah, they
it's
don't
just,
believe.
Yeah, it's just junk. And I've made it very clear, killing an army of orcs is actually worse because you get nothing out of it. Orcs go and kill Imperium, they get a bunch of scrap metal they can turn into a mech. Imperium kills a bunch of orcs, you now have to dispose of a shit ton of body and a bunch of fucking scrap metal you have no use for.
It's pretty sound logic. I'm picking orcs every time.
It's like, wait a minute. I get a never-ending resource for every single one of you fucking hopped up space marines I murder? Fuck yeah. All right. I got to go get myself food. I'm starving. And unlike you, Pete, I don't have extra calories, just, you know.
I mean,
yeah.
Look, fair. Look, I called myself out earlier. I deserve that.
You guys have a nice night, all right?
Yeah, you too, man.
Have a good day.